supreme victory.
What's going on, guys? I've been up since 5:30 in the morning, dropped off some family at the airport, and can't really go back to sleep, feeling a little out of my mind. Thought I would just record a video talking about Chris Chan because, and to be honest, I had no intentions on talking about Chris Chan on this channel whatsoever. I do a podcast with Chris Raygun and Tom Sweeney, if you guys aren't aware, the Snark Tank, and I thought we would have to address it there because a lot of our audience was expecting that. And unfortunately, I don't think there's an episode's going to come out this week. So I'm like, yeah, let me just say my piece on this whole situation because I'm coming from a place that, from a standpoint of someone who doesn't know that much about Chris Chan. I've heard about all of the infamy. I've heard about a lot of things, but I've never done a deep dive into Chris Chan. I imagine there's countless amount of videos of this archiving all the crazy stuff Chris Chan has done. Like, there's all these channels that they document locales or people that have had rises and falls or this and that, or, all these internet personalities. And Chris Chan has never been one of those people that I cared about, mainly because of just knowing this person there's something wrong with them. And I can always laugh at people who have mental deficiencies, but in a very small dose. I can get a glimpse of something and be like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy that happened. And then that's pretty much it. But I can't have a saga of it because then I'm just like, this is just sad. And then the people that are just as mentally deficient as Chris Chan that are following and trolling and stuff. And I'm like, this is pathetic. It doesn't make me laugh. Like, I see some people that one of my favorite podcasts is called Your Mom's House, and they showcase a lot of people who they call, with people that are mentally challenged, TikToked. They show a lot of TikToked people, and it's funny because usually they're typically not recurring. Usually the people that are recurring are like on drugs or something like that. But usually if they're like out of their mind and they're sad and whatever, usually you see them for a little bit and then they're gone, because you kind of know in the back of your head, I'm like, well, this is sad. You can only point and laugh for so long. And all the stuff that I've seen, which isn't that much about Chris Chan, has just been like, like, I've seen much more of Chris Chan in the later days because of what has been unearthed. And I guess I should at least mention that for the probably 0.1% of people that don't know, Chris Chan, the Sonichu, the creator of Sonichu, whatever, has been arrested and charged with incest. That whole video was leaked of allegedly Chris Chan banging, I guess Chris Chan identifies as a she, so banging her mom, which is wild. And I'll get into that whole pronoun stuff later because there's some people that are actually having debates and arguments about that and stuff, but to me it's not really that important right now. But I do want to get into that later because I was actually kind of surprised to see people having that sort of debate, but it is a little interesting. But I digress. So seeing all that stuff, I'm just like, this is insane. First hearing about it sounded hilarious, and I feel like this has been Chris Chan in a nutshell. When you hear about this stuff, it sounds funny. Then when you actually witness it or hear the stuff that Chris Chan is actually involved in, I'm like, oh, this isn't funny at all. This ain't cool. Like, there's a guy that I follow on Twitter. He's a cool dude, but I have him muted because he always posts just egregious stuff. And he tagged me in something recently, so I unmuted him just to all right, whatever. And then I had to mute him again immediately because he shared a video of Chris Chan beating off to, what's that song? All Star by Smash Mouth. A video that I never seen before and obviously never needed to see. And it was one of those things where I'm like, this isn't funny to me. It's funny to some people, but knowing who Chris Chan is, knowing that this person isn't all there, it's not funny. It's not funny to me. Like, it's like, how there's like senile old people and you'll see them do some wild shit. And you can laugh at it to a certain extent. After a while, you're just like, all right, this is just sad, right? And that's how I feel. I feel that way about Chris Chan. That's why I've never watched one of those deep dives and stuff, because I'm like, I think I get it. I think I know enough with the very small fraction of Chris Chan that I do know. I think I know enough. You know what I like keeping up with people that are they're just like stupid in a way that they'll do anything for fame. Those type of people that were around the communities I ran in. There's also, like, say, somebody who I recently watched a video on, Nicole Arbor. Like, Nicole Arbor is a perfect example of, like, the type of lolcow that I think is actually worth watching and documenting, because this person is just making all the dumbest decisions and is a domestic abuser. It's like, whoa. And recently has gotten into some more issues with another guy who has his own story that's wild. I mean, damn. Actually, I may even want to talk about that sometime. Just if any of y'all know who Tommy Vexed is, it's wild. It is wild, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so I guess the one thing I want to talk about, like I mentioned, was this pronoun situation, because I don't know when it was, but Chris Chan transitioned at some point. I don't know. I just know at some point people started bringing it up, and then, okay, it could have been years ago, it could have been recently. I don't really know. All I know is that technically Chris Chan is now Christine Chandler. Or is it Chandler? I could be totally wrong. I think it's Chandler. I could be totally wrong, actually. That's how much I don't really care. But there was a debate about how do you address Chris Chan. Now, a lot of people are saying address her as her and she, like, obviously transitioned. And the thing about pronouns, right, it's always been a matter of respect. It's always been one of those things where it's like, well, if you respect somebody, you're going to adhere to what they request you to call them. Doesn't matter if it's a nickname, a new legal name, pronouns, whatever. If you respect them, you're probably going to do it. And then usually if there's a lack of respect, you will probably do it out of common courtesy. And then there's the disrespectful people who are just like, I don't like you, so I'm just going to disrespect you and call you, you know, something that you don't want just to piss you off or whatever. And then there's people that are saying, well, you shouldn't call Chris Chan a she because she's making a mockery of the trans community. And there's a lot of people that don't believe that Chris Chan is genuinely in it for the right reasons or something. I don't know enough about Chris Chan. Personally, I don't care about calling Chris Chan a she, or just keep saying Chris because Chris is also going to be short for Christine. I actually know a couple of girls that go by Chris, even though their names are Christina. I don't care. I personally don't care about that stuff. I think the people that get worked up about this stuff either way are just silly. I've talked about this in a couple of Twitter trashes where there was some artist. I don't know who that artist was. I don't really know that many people in like the top 40 music and all that stuff. But they were like, I'm identifying as she, or no, they. I think it was like Sam something. I can't remember. But it's like, oh, I'm they. Call me they now. And then people were like clapping and shit. And then other people were like, whoa, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. That's so stupid. It's either way, it's just dumb. You know, I understand there's people that transition and then they're like put their pronouns in their bio because they don't want to be mistaken. Because I'm sure that feels bad where you see yourself a certain way and some people call you this, it's probably going to sting a little bit. So you give it's almost like the disclaimer kind of a thing, like, or please address me by this, everything will be cool, we'll all be happy. Do your thing. I don't care. There's people that do care way too much, and I always find that just a little bit suspect. Just a little bit. It's kind of like when you see people that are really homophobic, like they really, really hate them. They're like, oh, look at them gays, you know? And I'm like, all right, dude, you're sucking dick at a truck stop. That's for sure. Because, you know, What is this projection? You hate yourself, bro. Tale as old as time, right? So I kind of feel the same way when people are like freaking out about this pronoun situation. It's like, it's so crazy. But anyway, moving on with that subject, I guess, I don't know if this is true, but I've seen people say this. They said that Chris Chan is currently in jail, arrested and charged for the incest, because it's illegal in the state of Virginia. That's where Chris Chan lives, obviously. But apparently, Chris Chan is in a woman prison or women's jail. That's what I've heard. And I've also seen people circulate a couple of articles, and I don't know if this is true either, saying that in women's prisons, condoms are being passed out or being issued because of trans women in those prisons that are, obviously, what kind of stuff happens in jails and prisons and stuff like that. I'm hearing this stuff. I'm not trying to be some like fear monger or some spooky thing, but I'm hearing this thing. Sounds like a huge mess. Sounds pretty wild. Like I said, I don't know that much about Chris Chan. All I know is that Chris Chan something's wrong with Chris Chan. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Chris Chan will be in a psychiatric ward or something. Will probably be, locked away in one of those padded rooms or some kind of crazy shit. You know what I mean? Because the type of stuff that has been showcased over the years, I'm like, come on. What's going on here? Really weird, wild case. Obviously egregious stuff. Things that I just like I said, hearing about it is one thing. When you hear about somebody banging their mom or whatever, you're like, what the, you can meme about it, make jokes. But then when you're like, who Chris Chan is, and then you hear the conversation, I think I've heard like 3 minutes of it. And then I tapped out. I was like, I'm done. Supposedly, Chris Chan's mom has dementia, which also makes it infinitely worse, if that's the case. But I don't know who has this information, though. The people that are saying this and this about, and I'm like, well, who did Chris Chan confirm that? See, this is something like I don't know. I'm not hearing people say that, but maybe like I'm just gonna say, okay, well, fine. If it is, it'll all come out, right? It'll all come out. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I do hope that there is resolution in a way that Chris Chan is off the internet. Because I ain't gonna miss this person. I didn't care about this person before. You've never... There is no mention in my channel, as far as I'm aware, from all the videos I've done, there's ever been a mention about Chris Chan. I'm pretty confident about that. And if there is, then it must be from a guest from a live stream or something, but I've just never been interested. I just don't care. There are certain people, like even like, let's say, and this isn't, I'm not comparing them on the same level, but somebody like Onision, who I feel like needs help in a certain way. I don't know what exactly, because I've never met this person specifically. But like the reason why, even though I've featured in a couple of his videos, like he's used some of my footage and talked about me, giving me the kind of green light to, I could respond. I just wasn't that interested. I couldn't be fucked. Because I'm like, this person just like, I don't know, man. I hope they find peace. I don't know what the hell is going on with all this weird and wacky stuff and all of this crazy, I feel bad about that shit at the end of the day. I see some stuff that's pretty funny, but then mostly I'm just like, this sucks. I'm like, I'm just not going to talk about this dude. And so many others. But anyway, that's my take. If I'm missing a lot of stuff about Chris Chan, there's some stuff that I'm like, how could you not mention this? You can definitely leave it in the comment section below. I definitely want to see what you guys have to say about this situation. I'm sure you guys are pretty disgusted, I know, but maybe if you have some other nuance that, because I am coming from a completely ignorant standpoint about this person, just definitely let me know. I'm definitely going to read the comments this time because I want to see what's good. But that's it. Hope you guys have a good day. good night, wherever you're at, whatever time it is. And I'll see you in the next one.